or the demand and the pressure on Andy Burnham to call a snap general election is building. And to the naysayers, just watch what I highlight in this video before you dismiss such a prospect, because pressure really is building already. And as Keir Starmer leaves as Prime Minister, you can see pretty disgraceful legacy. 69% of the country say that the Starmer government has not been a success. Just 21% think it has been a success. 48% of the public, well, their view of Keir Starmer has become more negative during his time as Prime Minister. Unsurprisingly, just 15% have a better view of Starmer now after his tenure as PM. And also you can see there Labour's image clearly suffering given their total failure in government. And there are signs already that Andy Burnham is already under real pressure, that even some of his supporters are worried by indecision surrounding him as he comes in, of course, in this coronation, lacking a direct mandate, and clearly some Labour MPs already nervous about what is happening. And just to give you a taster of what could be to come, oh yes, it could be Ed Miliband as Foreign Secretary, Labour pushing to blow more money away on useless, wasteful foreign aid. Doesn't that just make you feel warm and fuzzy inside? As for the, as always, consistently spineless and slippery Conservatives, well, you can see there, Kemi Badenoch doesn't even have the bottle to just say, call a bloomin' election. All sorts of caveats with the Tories as usual. But the pressure is building when it comes to a general election, because, of course, Andy Burnham wasn't even a Labour MP at the last general election. And so you can see some saying that he should go early, that that's his best chance of winning an election, is to have a snap election. Otherwise, you could be doomed to repeat the Gordon Brown mistake. And the Mail on Sunday with research, and this is just another bit of research, showing that once again, many more people in this country want to see an election, a general election, than oppose it. And also, please note, only 18% of the public think the government should repair the public finances by increasing taxes even further. A majority say that public spending must be cut. You've even got there a Labour MP, Graham Stringer, speaking to the Mail on Sunday, saying if Andy Burnham is serious about making the scale of changes he promised on Friday, he will have to think about going to the country and getting his own mandate. And you can see there, pressure is already building for a general election. As for the Burnham bounce that we were expecting, well, there is evidence that Labour are getting a bit of a poll bounce with Burnham coming in, that Reform still leading in terms of projected number of seats as well as national vote share, but that Labour may have a bit of a honeymoon period now with a new leader. Meanwhile, you've got Nigel Farage warning that we're less than a decade away from turning into a third world country, and that he'll be damned if he's going to see that happen. So I did play in the last video here on my channel a piece of Andy Burnham's big speech coming in as Labour leader, and here is what Nigel Farage, part of what Nigel Farage had to say at CPAC the other day. Please watch this. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Do you want a general election now or not? And as ever, guys, do like this video a quick thumbs up. I'd really appreciate it.
So I'd like to say welcome to Great Britain, but I have to really say welcome to broken Britain, because we are in something of a mess. In fact, I'd go further and say we're actually engaged in a battle for the very soul of our nation, to define what we actually are, what we stand for, what our values are, because they're under attack in just the most astonishing and extraordinary way. But it's okay, because on Monday, he even wore a tie today. I was most surprised, I must say. On Monday, we'll have a new Prime Minister. our 7th Prime Minister in 10 years. And we used to laugh at the Italians. He comes in with absolutely no mandate of any kind at all. None. He says he wants to change the direction of politics in the most fundamental way for 40 years, because everything he says that is wrong in Britain is because of what happened in the 1980s. That is 40 years ago. And I watched his acceptance speech earlier on today, and I have to say, I find the whole thing utterly vacuous. He is the great chameleon of British politics, capable of being all things to all people. But the big shtick is all about power. It's all about power. He says in the 1980s, power drained away from the people, and capitalist interests took away the economic good of the people. So the plan is simple. Create lots of mayors all over the country and all will be well. Power draining away. I'll tell you how power drained away. Power drained away when we joined the European Economic Community, which then became a European Union, and with that we lost the sovereignty of our own parliament, the ability to make our own laws. Andy Burnham, bringing back power. I've done more than any individual in British history to bring power back to this country and to its people. But it's another Prime Minister who'll lead a cabinet, and we don't yet know who the Chancellor is going to be. Is it going to be Red Ed? But no, the markets think Shabama Mahmood would be much better. But once again, we'll get a Chancellor of the Exchequer who has never, ever worked in private business, nor have any of the rest of the cabinet. Is it any wonder that our economy is in the depths of the trouble that it is? And we don't yet know who the cabinet are going to be, but we do know that Matthew McGregor has been appointed as his chief political advisor, formerly of Hope Not Hate, who seem to masquerade as a charity and yet directly involve themselves in election, a man who is an ardent, fanatical Remainer, who says that the American president has neo-fascist tendencies and has said very many disobliging things about me, although that doesn't make him alone, does it? What are we going to get? Are we going to get a man of conviction? Are we going to get a man who's in politics because he really believes in some basic fundamental principles? Well, I knew that Starmer was a dud. I knew Starmer was a dud the day after the last general election, the 5th of July, 2024. There was the Prime Minister in the sunshine in Downing Street at 11 a.m. giving a victory speech that he'd known for at least a year he was going to have to give. It was obvious he was going to win. And I knew that Starmer was a dud because he looked down at his notes in the course of 9 minutes, as I've said before, like a pigeon in Trafalgar Square. He looked down at his notes 166 times in 9 minutes. And I knew this was not a conviction politician, but somebody being given a script to read out. But it's okay, because now we've got Andy, who in his speech today, albeit a longer one than 9 minutes, how many times did Andy Burnham look down at his notes in that speech this morning? 266.